So offense coordinator spoke yet again. Obviously, he spoke 2 weeks ago after the awful defeat of the Tennessee Titans. And he said 2 weeks ago pretty much that the problem with the offense was not about restarting or starting a whole new system or, kind of like going away from the plan that we have in place. It was simply the fact that they need to execute better, right? They needed to play better all around. So it was pretty much a little bit more on the players than it was on the play calling. He claims the play calling is fine and that as long as they execute the play calling correctly, there would be no problems at all. Obviously, that sparked some debate in, Cincinnati Houday Nation because it was like, okay, so now you're saying the players are at fault, not the coaching, which obviously, we have really disagreed with some of the vanilla coaching we have seen over the last couple of weeks when it comes to, or throughout the season pretty much, when it comes to some of the calls from Brian Callahan and Zach Taylor. Now, this also sparked a little bit of, reporters asking 7-Eleven here if, is there the offensive struggles, the reason why you're not getting open, not getting the ball, kind of that kind of talk. And then that sparked Jamar Chase saying, I'm always effing open, right? Because it's like, hey, listen, no, I don't know whatever Brian Callahan is saying, that's not related to me because I am always open. It's not me. So, Brian Callahan changed his tune this time. And he's kind of directing it toward everyone who isn't Jamar Chase. Here's what he had to say. He says, there needs to be more production on offense in general for guys not named Jamar Chase, Callahan said. End of the day, we're not scoring enough. We're not producing enough. So now he's saying that it's not, again, a failure of the play calling. It's not bad play calling. It's not, this, that, or the third. It's the players are not stepping up enough. And I will say to his credit, Irv Smith definitely has not really done much of anything for us so far this season when he has played, right? That's definitely been a problem, for us is we got him in the offseason, we gave him the money, we signed him as a tight end threat, and really he hasn't done much of anything. But other than Irv Smith, T. Higgins obviously have had some injuries. And, again, he also has had some drop seeds throughout some of the games. I really wouldn't say that he hasn't produced / done, good things while he did, play. Against the Ravens, he had 86 yards and 2 touchdowns. What else would you want him to do there? He really had, honestly, other than him being injured, he's had his best, everything pretty much. Jamar Chase obviously has been him, but T. Higgins has also been him when he is healthy. Tyler Boyd has put up some crazy, insane numbers. And same thing with, Trenton Irwin has pretty much put up some good numbers too. Now, of course, I think what Callahan is speaking to here is the consistency. So, for example, if a player does really good on, a couple plays, maybe gets a touchdown, he's saying that they need to consistently do good. So, throughout the whole entire game. Now, I will say there are plays, again, I don't want to sit here and act like I know better than Joe, I know better than Callahan. I don't. At the end of the day, when we're watching football games and we're watching a aerial shot of what's happening, it's idiotic to sit there and say, oh, that guy's open, that guy's open, that guy's open. Because at the end of the day, that's not how football works, right? The quarterback, when they look through their helmet, they're looking through what's called a small area like this. Yes, we could sit here all day and say that guy's open, but if the quarterback's looking to his right-hand side, how is he going to find that guy open to the left? We can see it, but that's because we're seeing a wide shot. At the end of the day, they only have a certain amount of vision. They're looking down the field, and they have a certain time period they can throw the ball out. So, at the end of the day, yes, there are some players who are open, let's be honest. But at the end of the day, if Joe's looking to the right, he's not going to see the guy to the left. Now, I will say there are some throws, last week and the last couple weeks pretty much, that Joe has missed, right? And that has definitely killed drives and hurt drives a little bit. And you go back to the Rams game, T. Higgins dropped, I think it was 5 total drops, and those drops killed 3 drives. So there has been problems here and there. I don't agree with the context that, you know, it's players not stepping up or players not doing that great. I mean, Joe Mixon has looked great every single time he has gotten the football in his hands and ran the football. Same thing with, you know, Trent Irwin. Same thing with Tyler Boyd. I mean, again, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm not saying that every single play they're going out there and putting, you know, 1,000%, you know, getting open, and clearly that might be the problem. I mean, if you looked at my analysis earlier today of the offense, you know, last week, there's a lot of plays where simply nobody was open. Nobody at all. And see, this is another thing that really kind of irks me when I hear stuff like this, because it's like, you understand that there is play calling that gets people open, right? And that's what the problem is. When you have vanilla play calling, usually people don't get open because it's really easy to stop vanilla play calling. That's just how it works. And when 90% of your offense is ran out of shotgun and none of it is on the center, which we still aren't going on the center when Joe is back healthy. I understood beforehand you didn't want to go on the center because Joe's calf strain and shotgun gives you more time to play and, you know, have time to throw the ball. But now that he's through his calf strain, what's your excuse? Because now I'm starting to kind of not understand the point. Because all you're doing is going out there and shotgun every play. You're very predictable. They know what you're going to do. And you're calling very vanilla offenses. And then you expect the guys, the receivers, and the, you know, players to really become miracle workers and get open. When you're calling very basic vanilla plays, I don't know what you think is going to happen. Like, again, like I said, at the end of the day, you know, Bill Belichick said it best. He said players win games and coaches lose them. And I think that might be a little bit of the problem. Every time we have seen crazy, you know, I say crazy, but really creative looks on offense, usually it's not because of Jamar Chase or Joe Burrow. It's because of the fact that the play call was like, ooh, that's a crazy play call. That actually worked out pretty well. I can't believe they called that. That's a really cool concept. A flea flicker. I mean, think about it. One of our second biggest play of the year. I know it's crazy to say this, but our biggest play of the year was the 63-yard touchdown, Jamar Chase, first play out of halftime. But our second biggest play was a flea flicker to Trent Irwin on a 60-yard pass. And that, if he catches that, that's a 60-yard touchdown. Now, again, like I said, was that Trent Irwin not getting open? No, he got open because the creative play call. So there is a system of, you know, if you make yourself one-dimensional, which we have done so many times in these games, and then you make yourself to a point where you're not being creative, you're not changing up the system, you're not doing anything creative, you're going to have a very predictable offense. And at the end of the day, any competent defense coordinator is going to know what you're doing. He's going to shut it down, and he's going to stop you. So it's really not about the system of, well, you know, the players aren't executing, the players aren't doing something other than Jamar Chase. I feel like in that perspective, you're just trying to find a scapegoat. I really feel like that is what it is. And I've said this many times, and I'm frustrated to have to keep repeating myself here. I hate the fact that we're not taking accountability, right? And that's the problem when you point fingers of, he did it, he did it, he did it. You're not going to fix anything. You're not going to fix anything by sitting there and pointing your fingers at somebody else. You have to take accountability. And you have to admit, Brian Callahan, that part of the system of why this offense is not producing is the play calling. Yes, you might say at the end of the day, you know, these receivers need to get open more. They need to make some more plays. But at the end of the day, you need to scheme them open. You need to. And there are some passes that Joe simply has missed, and it has nothing to do with receivers. I mean, look at last week. 3 passes, Jamar Chase wide open. Joe missed them. Irv Smith wide open. He missed them. At the end of the day, you know, it happens, right? And now no one's perfect. But you can't sit here and kind of point fingers and say, it's his fault, his fault, his fault, and not look at yourself and say, what can I do that's better, right? That's how you win games. That's how you get better. That's how you win championships. It's not everyone else's. It's you and everyone else's, right? This is a team effort. It's not just one person. He said, we have had better than what we have been. He said, oh, sorry. There's a lot of competition in the AFC this year, and Callahan knows a mediocre record is not enough to get them where they want to be. We have been better than what we have been. You know what I'm saying? And I think we will be. But sometimes there's a time and a place to tell the truth. And that's the truth at this point. Oh, Lordy. What are you doing? You're self-destructing right now. Because you're sitting there and you're not being... This is not a team. That's not a team effort of saying, you know, we're going to work on this, this, and this. This is you pointing the finger and saying, players need to be better. I have not seen so far this year, and I've watched every single game, a time where I've seen Tyler Boyd give no effort on the play. Or Trent Irwin not get open. Or try to get open. Or T. Higgins. Right? It seems like because the only player who's outspoken and steps up and speaks for themselves is Jamar Chase, now you're targeting everyone else. Because I think if Chase didn't say I'm always effing open, I think he would be including Jamar Chase here. But because of that, he's not. I don't know, guys. Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'd love to hear it. It's a mess. See you guys next one. Peace out.